Hey guys, I'm here at the Huntsville Quarterback Club with former Auburn head coach turned SEC Network analyst Gene Chizik. Thanks for being with me today.
Absolutely, Charity. It's going to be a blast tonight.
Yeah, I was about to say, I went to Texas A&M, so I got to ask you about this big game coming up. Top 25 matchup, Auburn taking on Texas A&M. What do you think of this matchup, and who do you have winning it?
Well, I think it's going to be a great matchup. There's so many similarities in the teams, both very physical teams, very well coached, a lot of speed on the field. It's really going to come down to who protects the football and, defensively who can make stops at critical times in the game. Look, there's just so many great athletes running around, but, Texas A&M, that's a hard place to play, and a lot of these guys are young, going in there from Auburn, obviously the quarterback position with Bo Nix. So it's gonna be a great matchup.
Yeah, I know you're kind of more of a defensive guy. Going into the season, Auburn was said to have one of the best defensive lines in the country. What do you think of their performance so far this season?
I think they've been outstanding, and everything starts with the defensive line. And when you got potentially 3 first-round draft picks on the defensive line like Auburn does, that allows you to have a young quarterback and kind of keep you in the game until the offense kind of gets some rhythm and gets some chemistry, which really is what's happened. It's certainly happened in the Oregon game early on, and they really kept the game close enough for Auburn to come back and win it at the end, which was a huge win. But when you are lucky enough to have that type of defensive performances and those type of defensive players, man, it makes things a lot easier.
We're in Alabama, so if we talk about Auburn, got to talk about Alabama. Tell me, what are your thoughts on this year's team? I know they've been battling through injuries, specifically on defense, but what do you think of this team this year?
Yeah, it just seems like almost every year they have the injury bug, right? If it's not in the first game, it's in preseason, and really this year has been no difference. Nick has done a phenomenal job of recruiting. And people think you just plug and play, right? Guy gets hurt, you plug the next guy in, but it's a tall order. And they got a lot of young guys playing. A lot of injuries have mounted up. But look, I'll tell you, going back to even Saturday's game, they're explosive. They're really good on defense. They're really pretty much what you would expect an Alabama team to look like. No different. Explosive, great players, players on both sides of the football. So I think they're really kind of sitting in a position to have another great team.
Yes, sir. Now, last question. You were a coach for about 30 years. Now you're on the other side of it. How does it feel? What is it like for you?
I love it because on Sundays when I get up, I don't care who won or lost, right? But it's been really great. ESPN's been very good to me, and I love working specifically with the SEC Network. This is my roots. This is what I love. This league, the passion of the league, the additions of Texas A&M and Missouri, and to go along with all the teams that have already been in the league. I just think it's awesome. I love every Saturday. I get to sit in studio and watch games all day long. I do some games in the booth on Friday nights as well. So I get a good mixture of things, but it's been really good, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, and you have a good support system, too.
Absolutely, no doubt.
Yes, sir. Well, guys, that'll do it for us here at the Huntsville Quarterback Club. Charity Chambers alongside former Auburn head coach Gene Chizik.